With these words of admission, there'll be no submission. I've done the addition, and it's not adding up. You can keep all your conditions. We're not asking permission. It's our act of sedition, and we're not giving up or giving in.
All right.
Heard that.
So we would like to introduce ourselves first and foremost. Uh, First of all, let's talk about what this is. This is a new political podcast to be called Snarky and Such because I'm an asshole and Such is above me. Are you above me in this configuration?
No, this one, yeah, I am. I'm a small screen
Okay.
above you.
I think that's how the viewer will see us as well. Uh we know that ultimately we're probably going to step on some toes along the way if we're doing our job well. We're going to piss people off. There's going to be lovers and there's going to be haters. Um, and that's okay. We're ready for that. Um, this show's content, the very first one, because we're famous and not famous and not household names, and we're not Adam Carolla or Megan Kelly or Sean Hannity or Roseanne Barr or PBD podcast or Joe Rogan. We're not Joe Rogan. I guess everybody has a benchmark and it's Joe Rogan. So because of that, we are going to use this opening episode to just kind of give you a framework of our our intent. So the name of the show is, drum roll please, Snarky and Such. Um, I am David, and this is Ron, and we are an American conservative, very patriotic and loyal to our founding fathers, republic, the republic that is conservative, although, and we've been married for 32 years. It's coming up on 33. I'm coming to you. We're coming to you from our home and offices. Ron's upstairs. This is general enough. We're not gonna get a stalker, right? Ron's upstairs and I'm downstairs. And there's lots of room between us. And hopefully this will work out. I've done political podcasts before. Um, so that's kind of how we're starting. I started with in 2015. I wasn't even political before, Ron, right? I mean, I voted. I told you that I first voted irresponsibly. I was supposed to feel bad about this, but I was living fast and free, baby, from Hollywood and music and everything else. And I'm from a family of crazy snarkies, right? Oh, well, let's talk about why that we decided that uh we're going to use the name Snarky and Such. So Snarky comes from the great songwriter and singer Janice Ian. Look her up. Her most famous song was At 17. She once told me that I was snarky as hell. And I think Cher once said that I was the rotten fruit at the bottom of a bowl of apples. And for some reason, that didn't ring as well for a show title. You know, it's really long too for people to remember the rotten fruit at the bottom of a bowl of fruit, the rotten piece of fruit. We could have called it the rotten piece of fruit, I guess. But anyway, we went with Snarky, and you'll get my
And
pledge.
such.
And such.
And
Yeah.
such.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I forgot the biggest part because there was children gather around. Grandpa's going to tell you a story. By the way, my grandpa, I don't know. I'm not going to go into it, but I don't know. Our grandparents, when they were our age, I am going to be 62. which is crazy. And Ron, he can tell you if he wants to. But we're ish, you know. But my grandparents were, I mean, God love them. They were, well, there's two sets, aren't there? There's your dad's and your mom's. And it was really my mom's that really was the people that were loyal and hung around and were healthy. And the other whole other side of the family was really fucked up. Anyways, so I was going to say, children gather around. Grandpa's going to tell you a story about 70 sitcoms and television shows. And there was one, they were cops, right, Ron?
Yeah.
Okay. And they were called Starsky and Hutch. Now, those weren't the guys on the motorcycles. That was Chips, right?
Starsky and Hutch had the red El Torino, whatever it was,
Mm-mm.
with the white stripe down it.
Oh, okay, right. So we were like Starsky and Hutch, and because we knew that Janice called me Snarky, I guess that's where it came from. Everything is a boiler. You know, Ron and I are really creative. You know, I'm a songwriter and producer, and Ron is my manager around the world. And that's our doorbell upstairs. Well,
Driveway alarm.
okay, well, on episode 2, we'll have to turn the driveway alarm. Starsky and Hutch. Oh, thanks, Ron. You got the visuals going.
The car.
Oh, that car, right.
The red with the big white stripe.
That was a Charger, right?
No, I don't know what it was.
No.
That was like an El Camino or
Almost
something.
looks like a cougar almost. Not to be confused with a lady that's on the prowl for 18-year-olds.
It was a 1976 Ford Grand Torino.
Okay, that's very specific. It looks like the thing on the side looks like Nike's Just Do It.
Well, because it went up and all across the top.
I know. Check that out, though. That's pretty damn crazy. I never even noticed that before. You just call the show Just Do It. Just do it. Yeah. Starsky and Hutch. So that's why, and if you see our video avatars, you'll see it's Snarky and Such. And it's kind of embedded in the name. It's kind of, you know.
Oh, I have to point out something. You didn't start with our theme song.
No, that's done in post when we use this platform that we won't name. Because the platform itself is recording video that then I will put into Movie Maker and then do post things lining up before I go to upload it to different places and then hit publish. So I can.
So we're not live right now.
No, we've been live the entire time. We're in Zoom and it's going live and it's something I can download right to my computer and then I can upload it anywhere that I want to. But right now I didn't play the opening music, but when you see that the first episode, I'll put the audio and maybe even play a snippet of the video. I mean, I can do whatever. I can, as we refer to something in a perfect world. Well, and I'm kind of naive. I mean, I'm going to get better. I don't know everything about everything. So, but we are recording right now. There is, if I look, anyways, I didn't want to really take up the time right now to look at, like, you can have comments on and da. Okay, so I'm going to say that we're not live. That we're turning in the first episode. I'll just edit out all that shit. Actually, I like that
test run.
Yeah. Well, no, it's gonna go. This is officially it. And by the way, I don't give a shit. Like, this is what life is, you know.
You still haven't covered what we're going to be covering over.
Okay, right. So
many episodes.
Right, because we could be screaming at the television. That's why we're doing this, because every morning since Trump came down the golden escalator, Ooh, right. It does seem like a Batman, doesn't it? Trump has got the golden tower. He's in Gotham, right? He comes down the golden escalator and he's beloved by the world, by the way, by Hollywood, and they have all sucked his you know what forever, and he's donated to all of the Democrat celebrities and all this stuff, and they've all wanted his money and they loved him and they all want to go to his golden palaces. But boy, turn around and run against them and run for the freedom of the people and everything else, and they'll make you Hitler. Right, right. Um, so because of that, instead of screaming at the TV, just let tell me if this is boiled down enough. Cliff's notes. Instead of just screaming at the TV, we thought, well, we do have a way of expressing ourselves, and why don't we try it out and tell people our perspective and our viewpoint and kind of cut through the bullshit. There are others, by the way, that I watch. I mentioned some of them already. Some of them know a lot, some of them know half of it, some of them know a little piece, but all in all, their intentions, the people that I watch, if it's Greg Gutfeld or if it's, I don't think there's any MSM that actually is telling the truth. That's all propaganda, as it turns out. Trump exposed that. Um, so in 2015, when Hillary was running against Trump, I came upon a guy that used to be they call him the uniformed division of sentries that they post at different places, and this guy's job for 8 years was right outside the Oval Office door for Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky and all the other, as it turns out, girls and pages and interns that came through Bill Clinton's and Hillary Clinton's White House. He overheard every fight. He overheard. He didn't want to. He didn't want to, probably. I mean, he probably was, you know, doing his job. He wasn't like eavesdrop. I think that this is all out screaming. Like, I don't know if you recall, but allegedly there was times back in the past where where Bill Clinton would show up at a presser with a new bandage on his head or a cut on his eye or something, and Gary said that was when she threw the ashtray across the Oval Office at him. So, and she wasn't pissed. And in Gary's own words in his book, Crisis of Character, about Hillary Clinton, look it up, go buy it. It's a good read. That was my introduction to all this stuff. And about when they were governor and first lady in Mena, Arkansas, and then their brother Roger, and then you start going down the rabbit hole and you go, hold on, they've had 11 bodyguards commit suicide. It's called suicided. They got suicided. They don't think that they did it themselves. So I started to notice, and I started to bring it to you, and you started to kind of go, God, is he ever going to stop talking about all this shit? And so to not go through everything and sit here the entire time and hog and talk about, because I could just talk, right? But it is a show. So that's how it started. And then again, we've been married for 32 years now, and it's a relationship, but like any relationship, um, we've had our fights and we've had our beauty together, and it's a relationship. If anybody that can stay together or it's compromise, and sometimes you disagree, and sometimes there was always one thing that we could both agree on when we called out. That's bullshit, right? So there, that's that's some of it anyway. Why we're here. And we gave you some pretty nice backdrops. Ron's sitting in the foyer, well, the foyer behind him up there,
I'm
and
in the dining room.
at the end of the dining room.
Yeah, I'm not in the foyer.
And
Anyway,
well, no, well, right, you're not in the foyer, but we can see the foyer behind you, right? And if you look in the double mirrors, you can actually see the rest of the dining room he's looking at, but pointing back. It's pretty nice up there. It's pretty grand. And then down here, I actually am hiding a world of not chaos. It's kind of beautiful, but it's a downstairs kitchen recording studio, and so I've got a backdrop behind me. It's kind of it's kind of something fun, kind of as a backdrop. And you can see my keyboard right here because I'm a piano player. Blah, 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 blah. So that's where I'm almost in a dark shell with a light, and so you can see my hair in the chair and my teeth, right? Okay, so that's enough about that.
All right. So welcome to Snarky and Such. I'm Snarky and Ron is
I'm
Such.
Such.
So we already did a kind of a tech setup, really, because we really don't know what we're doing. We just have a passion, kind of a pissed off passion, like probably millions, I mean, not probably, like millions and millions of Americans and people around the world, but in particular Americans, in particular patriotic Americans that are, my God, right? Just words fail me. But anyways, because I could sit here and ramble, bamble forever and probably end up frustrating the listener. I try to contain myself. And I've made some talking points today for us. So we're going to try it out because there's a million ways and a million things. And whenever Ron and I are watching television here on the farm, we'll just leave it there. You know, in our peaceful, tranquil setting, since 2015, it's been growing and growing and growing. And every time that Trump was indicted or arrested, or Melania's closet was ransacked, or this or that, or shot at, or Charlie Kirking, and just everything, we were screaming at the TV and we're like, well, wait, we might have a perspective here. We might have something to say as two gay married seniors in the United States that people think must be for Mom Donnie in New York. But no, we're not. So we're going to start that way. Wow, look what a lead in. It was perfect. Like I couldn't have planned that better. I really did not plan that. So anyways, there was a recent election. It's not quite the midterms, right? It's like I'm always confused. There's three people that ran up for election. There was Virginia, New Jersey, and New York. I don't know why those three, but anyway. The Democrats won them all. No big surprise. They're blue things, but there was something a little different about Mom Donnie and the way that he's a socialist and his plans that he told everybody anyways that he wanted for New York. Thoughts, Ron? Any thoughts on New York or Mom Donnie or?
Well, I think New York is going to be in for a big surprise, that they think that they are going to get what they want, and they're going to find out that they're going to be living in a communist state where eventually they'll be having to stand in line for bread, and they're going to be told what groceries they can buy, what groceries they can't buy, that they're going to find out that it's not going to be safe to take their public transportation if, you know, it goes into where all of a sudden all the homeless people can stay on a bus and ride it all day long, or stay on the subway and ride it all day long. They're going to find out the hard way that, you know, they have went from a frying pan into the fire.
No, that's a good one. Yeah, it's like all those cliches and idioms from our grandparents that we rolled our eyes at actually are really the zest. You and I have discussed this about. It's really those simple, boiled down sayings that we went, you know, as little shits, like, get out of here with that mumbo jumbo. Those are the gold nuggets now to live by, really.
They don't realize, these people, that once again, it's an old cliche. There is nothing true. There is no such thing as a free lunch. You know, if you're as a politician, you are screaming to the people that you're going to make this free and that free and that free. It's the free stuff comes at a price. And he thinks he's going to be able to tax the extremely wealthy people to pay for all the free stuff for everybody else. And that's been tried in the past, and it doesn't work. It usually ends with a monarch being beheaded.
We can only hope. The public square hangings, we talked about that for Pelosi and and others. We talked about like,
The
oh
Handmaid's
my
Tale.
God, it'd be Christmas time, please,
No,
the
it's
gallows.
they're going to find out. It's like, they know how things went in Europe. Well, these people don't stop and think it through. It's like when they tried all this crap in Europe and England and in France. Look what they had to do before the Summer Olympics in France. They had to get rid of all the homeless people and brush them off the sidewalks and try to clean out the
In
sand
San
that was
Francisco
still,
with
yeah, that the river was still so polluted, that people that did water sports, the
they got E.
rowing and the
coli
swimmers
or something.
actually got sick from
Hmm.
being in the water.
It
And
looked beautiful. It looked beautiful, but I guess it smelled like shit.
well, it's like
Oh, and then
that's
there was the pesky little I guess the password today is pesky. I never used that word before. I don't know why now. The Lord's Supper done with drag queens and transgenders. I mean, they're just off just take a little detour stop there at the Olympics. It was beautiful. If you could overlook the burning palaces with the witches and the covens and the druids and the headless horsemen running down the middle of this scene, which was beautiful but really symbolic. I was like, what are we watching here? A skull and crossbones ceremony? Like anymore the halftime show for Super Bowl, like via Gaga style or Madonna, or you always got these like Baphomet horned animals, and they got the symbolisms of the pyramids, and they're all sacrificing something, you know. Um, yeah. Anyways, just you mentioned the Olympics, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful, and of course we great you love it's Celine Dion came out after her stiff person syndrome and climbed, I guess, up the side, King Kong style, up the Eiffel Tower. She didn't do that, but I'm snarky. That's what I do. And she sang her heart out, Edith Piaf song, so beautiful. Anyway, let's go. That was a lot of free association. Yeah. So this crap, it has been tried and true before. It always fails. Socialism fails.
Well, it'll be interesting to see exactly, because we did find out during COVID exactly what kind of power city mayors and state governors do
Oh boy,
have,
did we? Yeah.
different mandates that they did, across the country during COVID. But to my knowledge, a lot of the things that Mandavi promised, the mayor alone does not have the power to implement. I don't think a mayor can actually change tax laws to tax the rich to pay for free programs for the poor. I don't think a mayor has that power.
Right. We'll see.
How many hidden people are already in positions
There
that
you
when he
go.
proposes stuff that they will step up. It's like how many sleepers have already been put into city council positions
Nailed it.
and other positions that would support him.
Nailed it. Just nailed that. That was like, yeah, because like as it is with the auto pen president, Brock shitty diaper, dementia clad dude, robotic dude, what is that? That he was a Manchurian candidate for the deep state that they just intentionally, well, the whole nother show, but totally used COVID to rig an election. But the ultimate game was to get all these 20 million unknowns across our southern border and to fly them up. Biden was flying them up into the middle of cities using taxpayer dollars on commercial airliners. And they're all sitting there ready to go to do what? Right? We've already had some things, but I don't think that we've seen the whole thing yet. And Mom Donnie kind of taken okay, guys, there's probably some underground tunnel where they're going to have meetings, right? So you're right. So there's Mom Donnie in New York. God bless New York City. We're going to be there sometime in 2026. We won't say for what. And we'll take the temperature then. We may do a strolling street thing, by then. If you guys listening like this, as always, I want to say subscribe, please, to my YouTube channel, where this will primarily be seen, but it'll also be seen on Rumble, BitChute, Signal, Instagram, Facebook link, anywhere I can. anywhere people haven't already banned me. I've been banned from Facebook, by the way. I'm proud about this. I don't think they have a diamond sticker for it. Probably 80 times my account's been shut down, and during the course of the last 10 years, with when Trump came on the scene. And why? Because I have a raunchy mouth and wasn't following guidelines. But sometimes I would just say the word sheep, just the word sheep. I mean, it's an animal, for God's sakes, very innocent little animal that some farmers seem to like instead of getting a girlfriend. But again, I digress. And for that, their algorithm at the time, now that's softened a little bit, but we've gone through various stages of tyranny already with this whole thing. Okay. Mondami, New York. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell so you get notifications for you're here at the very beginning of Snarky and Such. So let's go. Let's see what we can do. You guys comment. And I'll look at the comments. Ron will look at the comments. If there's something good, we'll look at it and we'll include it in the next show. If it's hateful, well, we're kind of Teflon, so that's no big deal. All right, Ron, aka Such, Nancy Pelosi is retiring. Christmas, what is it, November 9th today. Yesterday was our anniversary. Ron and I count every month as an anniversary.
She should have retired decades ago. There should be laws that are passed that there cannot ever be career politicians. There needs to be term limits. There's term limits for presidents. There should be term limits for every politician. No one should be able to be a career politician. It just opens the door for corruption.
Agreed.
And as we have seen, our government has become very, very corrupt.
Yeah, I mean, I think she was one of Nebuchadnezzar's original wives, if I'm not mistaken. I think I remember that from my 5th grade class there. But you got Maxine Waters, who's got to be, if you turn her over and count the rings, or I think she's 100 and I don't know. And then you've got Schumer, whose career, and of course, with Biden prided himself on 50 years of service, or as we like to call it, quid pro quo. Hard to say. I'm doing it again. Quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. Selling classified information and selling access for pay-for-play schemes from every country that he could, through Burisma in Ukraine with his son, the crack-smoking, humping mother humper, like Sherry O'Terry on an SNL sketch outside there on her porch, keeping the volleyball that was kicked up there and calling the little kid a crack-smoking mother humper. I think she would have said, Hunter, get away from there. And that was Hunter Biden. Nancy Pelosi, let's just try to name a couple things here. First of all, Muriel Bowser, the mayor of Washington, D.C. at the time, of January 6, 2021, she received 2 requests from Trump for the National Guard just to maintain the decorum of the day. Well, the Sergeant of Arms in D.C. is the only one that can be put to task to do that. And the only person, Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, that can command the Sergeant of Arms is Nancy Pelosi. And so, we finally caught her on hot mic tape in the back of a car. But years after the fact, after the January 6th committee and Cheney got up there and they tried to get a whole group of people to basically what the whole thing was for.
Wasting taxpayer dollars.
For sure. And what Pelosi was trying to do was to try to come up with actual crime that would forever disqualify Donald Trump from ever trying to seek the Oval Office or the office of the president again. And so that's why she drew up articles of impeachment, and that failed. And that was the second time they impeached him, and it failed. As we know, we could go on, which not a talking point today, but we will. Why wouldn't we? Wild horses couldn't keep us from it, because that's why we're here, all pissed off. Well, not really pissed off. We're actually celebrating because Trump is our beautiful president of the United States again, and the big, beautiful ballroom is underway, baby. Not a freaking basketball court for your chums down in Queens. Okay, Barack? Anyway, so just real quick, I had a Nancy Pelosi by way of Gavin Newsom. Just wanted to quickly throw the Gavin Newsom that will burn down your house and keep the fire hydrants empty because we love you so much. And we burned down, we misappropriated 25 billion that was supposed to go for a high-speed train and the homeless too, and they're all still back like walking fentanyl zombies down the sidewalk if you want to go downtown to LA.
Don't forget to mention, in case people, if there are people that still don't know, Gavin Newsom is Nancy Pelosi's nephew.
Right. See, that's the nepotism inside of the slithering, snaky, swampy creatures all going around, is they're all ancestrally related. You don't get a foot up unless you've been at the party, done the drugs, they got the blackmail on you, and then your cousin comes up, and pretty soon we're all just ancestrally like the royal crown, like back to the royals in England, right? All of the inbreeding and all this stuff. When they used to say keep the blood pure, it's like, that's incest. You're just talking about screwing your niece. That's all that you're doing. Okay. So we got Gavin Newsom, and boy, do we have a lot more to talk about him. New scum, as Trump says, which, he loves to rile, and I love it. Trump used to be a Democrat, for those of you that don't know. Everybody went to him for money, all the Hollywood stars. He had the #1 rated reality show. He's been a billionaire. Yes, he's had some bankruptcies, but if you don't crack a few eggs, you can't make an omelet. Just a real quick thing for record of fact, historical record here on one of our first podcasts. Trump currently owns 134 skyscrapers in 35 countries on 4 continents. He owns 16, 18 hole championship golf courses, 3 Healy helicopters, 2 747s, 12 mansions over 55,000 square feet, has over 10 billion in liquidable cash right now. And for all you that would like to say that he's horrible and he's a bad business guy, well, you're on food stamps and SNAP, which is unbelievable because that's one of our talking points today. So we'll skip over the next one and the next one, and we'll go right to this government shutdown in the SNAP benefit program. Ron, you got any thoughts on that?
The first thing that I have always said, all the way back to whenever there ever was a first government shutdown that I was old enough to be aware of what that was, in my opinion, and I think it's the opinion of a lot of people, the first people, when they shut down the government, when they say the non-essential government employees, they stop getting paid, the very first ones that need to have their income stopped are the congressmen.
Should be the congressmen, yeah.
That have shut down the government because they're not doing their job. So they sit there not doing their job, not balancing the budget, making hardworking people suffer, and they still have their $1 million checks rolling in. That's bullshit.
Yeah, like
they
what?
need to be the first ones declared non-essential. And then with the new Doge, non-essential government employees get their walking papers. You're non-essential. I don't care if you're elected or not. You're not doing your job. You're out.
And of course,
pay is suspended until you do your job.
Yeah, and of course, term limits. I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Trump and his, he's not even a year into his glorious. These next 3 years can't be long enough for me. I want him to have every second of every day. The thing about Trump is he's not squandering it.
No, what they don't realize, they made him the most powerful president in history when they stole the 2020 election. Mm-hmm. It gave him 4 years to prepare.
Good point. Good point. That's a really good point. 4 years
to prepare.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. People were like, because I was too. I was so pissed because I knew, because I've got sources and kind of smart guy over here. You definitely can't play me. You know, you can't play me, you can't bullshit me. But Trump, he could have sat back and gone, "Oh my God, that was horrible," and felt bitch slapped, and just kind of gone away and licked his wounds. Well, the thing about this is, he might have done more of that, but they immediately spent the next 4 years during Biden starting to drop all these indictment, like all this bullshit, and grab all these people to testify, and they started moving a law and the dirty judges they had put in place and stuff. They started going to these weird districts. Then they started raiding his house, and then they subpoenaed Eric and Don Jr. like 89 times, and they were trying to just wear them down. And I don't know what Trump is made of. I have never figured this out. And I've said this to you. I've said it is unbelievable. I would have already been beaten years and years ago. And I'm not proud to say that, because I don't consider myself a pussy. I'm gay, I'm older, I should be a pussy, right? I should, or at least brainwash and go with the crowd. No, I'm none of those things. So I'm quite the different standout to type. But then there's Trump. Like I used to say, if I'm playing 3D Trump, Trump is playing 5 or 7 or 9. I don't know what kind of labyrinth that he's in, but that guy was sent from God, who we both believe the divine turned his head just right a couple times for the bullets in Butler, Pennsylvania. The hand of providence is on that man's shoulder. That does help me sleep at night for all those enemies that are coming for him. And boy, has he pissed them off. And it's like I didn't used to be like dogmatically to the Bible's stuff. I'm very spiritual, but I was never like, was gonna do. I know Ron comes up Catholic. I'm like Southern Baptist, or we're like whoosh, we have a broad perspective here going on, but still never browbeating somebody for Jesus and taking the scriptures and just shackle people with it. Here we have Trump, who is been sent, I believe, to keep humanity free, humankind free, and to keep free will sacred, so that the roots of tyranny don't systematically just sneak up on us, and then like a frog comes to a boil, one day we wake up and we've been complacent too long. He woke us up out of our complacency. We've been complacent so long. Government's been doing this, and presidents have been doing this for a long time. They've been following the orders of those that would be their biggest donors, which now are corporations, as you and I know. Anyways, so there's a lot there. Doge. I want to say, with the government shutdown, Trump's been utilizing it on purpose. He's not so upset about it. One, it's not the Republicans doing. They voted 14 times for a clean CR bill to open it back up, and the Democrats want all the illegals. They want 1.5 trillion for illegals to have health benefits. And if you didn't know this, the SNAP program is 59% goes to illegal immigrants that are on SNAP. So Trump never wanted Medicaid to be taken away from the legally, lawfully allowed people that qualify for it. It's been abused for illegals. And so all these systems, this government shutdown is good, because he's like cleaning house more. He's reducing the federal employee roster. Like, they're not coming back. They don't know it yet, but they're not coming back. Which, like, the Democrats, they're not going to say that on MSM or anything. They're not going to say that, which is, I love what they don't say, because they're in the back stewing, or maybe they're just so stupid they don't know. I don't know. Either way, it works for me. All right. Any other thoughts on government shutdown before we move to something else?
Nope, I've said it very clearly. It's like the ones that shut it down, stop their pay, and the government will never be shut down again.
Yeah. And there's a couple of Republican senators or congressmen. I don't know what it is. My nose is itching down here. Got dust down here. Sorry about that, people. was really pretty. I was just watching him the other day. He said he's not taking pay while this shutdown. And of course, it's a Republican. Democrats not going to do that. I mean,
He has the real Southern accent. He has the real Southern accent, the real country
is it
accent. We love
Kennedy?
him.
Kennedy?
No,
Senator
might be.
Kennedy? Yeah. Anyways,
It's the one
because
that has the real country accent, the real Southern, like South Carolina accent.
oh, okay. That might be a tip off for us. Because Democrats are certainly not going to do it because why? Because they need their hookers and blow. Okay, so said that snarky. Let's real quick touch on the Nobel Peace Prize and how basically Trump in his
What
first
a joke it is.
yeah Trump in his first 8 months resolved 8 35-year-old conflict wars between warring nations from I don't have them all in front of me. I wish I would have copied and pasted and put that to the side. But so then along comes the Nobel Peace Prize, which is I think out of Norway, Sweden. It's Sweden, I think. Anyway, and they nominate the president of Venezuela. I forgot her name too. But the point is that she just merely, I mean, while she's brave and she fought an illegal election and had it turned over. It was Trump really that made it possible that she could win that too. So here we have.
Okay, hold on. Here's a list.
Yeah.
According to BBC News, that of course Trump claimed he ended 8 wars in 8 months. It says, it says the latest was between Israel and Hamas. The other 7 were between Israel and Iran, Pakistan and India, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo, right, Thailand and Cambodia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, Egypt and Ethiopia, Serbia and Kosovo. Kosovo? How do you say it?
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, so that's that's the other 7. Kosovo. I know it when I hear it and I can't say it. It's like aluminum and
Casablanca.
Yeah.
He solved the Casablanca problem.
Sonova or Kosovo.
Of all the gin joints in all the world, you had to come in. So it's for gin. No, actually, Trump doesn't drink. That's another thing. Just real quick, Trump doesn't drink or drugs. So they love to try to Kamala Harris. I didn't put Kamala Harris at all today as a talking point, but boy, are we gonna? I think that's like a whole show, or at least like a half a show, just for the fun of mocking her. Ugh. Anyway, so easy. She's just a.
It'll be a mockumentary.
There's a mockumentary. Yeah.
Mockumentary.
Okay, so this is really informative, and I got a marker here that we have 10 more minutes, so we're going to let this be the last thing without having to renew because we're cheap bastards on our first podcast, our first full podcast, and I'll get to it. Shut up. As it turns out, okay, first of all, for all of you that don't know, Trump has been blowing boats out of the Gulf of America. Let's all say together, no more Mexico, Gulf of America. We actually have the most shoreline around it too. So it always made sense. It didn't make sense that it had the name of Mexico, and Trump has officially done it. So go to Google, go to any GPS. If you get, by the way, if you're against it and you're a Democrat and you get stuck, you get abandoned, or you fall off a cruise ship out there, they're not going to respond to the Gulf of Mexico. So you might as well start saying Gulf of America. Where are you? Oh, Gulf of America. We can't find it. It's Gulf of America, bitches. Okay. Down there, the reason he's doing that, because he found out in his 4 years after you robbed him of 2020, he found out exactly where the whole election fraud came from, and it came from the Cartel del Sol down in Venezuela, the king drug lord down there. Back in 2004, after rigging elections and doing it really well in his country and for others, he came up to the United States to try to infiltrate us, and he went to Colorado, and he found a little company called Sequoia. Well, in our government, we have a system of checks and balances, I guess, believe it or not, when they want to, they can do the right thing. and something smelled off to them. And so when they were looking into the faction that was trying to buy this voting machine maker, Sequoia, and out of, I forget where, probably Aurora, Colorado, you know, where the shooters in the theater and everything. Anyways, they had to back away. So, because they were showing up too much, like the red flags were going off. So, like, oh, watch out, we're being watched. So, they went up to Canada, our little friendly neighbor to the north, and they found a little company called Dominion Voting Machines. And they loved that because they found out that our 7 swing states only had Dominion voting machines in them. Wow, this is great. So, they bought them. And they infiltrated their software, their proprietary software into these machines, and they sent it online to all of the swing states. And hence we had Barack Obama come in. Well, Barack Obama got some legitimate votes. Ron and I have to admit, hope I don't out you, Ron, that we both voted for Barack Obama because we thought the first black president should be something to be proud of too, because we're not racist. We're an equal opportunity hater. We hate just as many as you white folks as we do the black folks. So you're not on any shiny list for us. So at the time, we believed the bullshit, as it turns out, that Barack Obama was selling. What he was laying down, we were picking up. That was then, this is now. And that's a whole nother show because Barack Obama has a lot that we found out about. Not a good guy, very divisive. But that drug lord, Cartel de Sol down in Venezuela, ended up doing the 2020 big time. Well, they did it in 2016 with Hillary and Trump then, but they were overwhelmed by the people's choice.
They had no idea how popular Trump was.
They couldn't catch it. And then Trump had 4 years and he was doing this and he was laying the groundwork because when he got the presidency, if he could dodge bullets, if he could do all of that, Superman, then he was going to circle back, Ginger, like the bad press secretary of Biden's. He's going to circle back and he hit a list and he was checking it twice. All right. And that's what he's up to right now. And that's how we're going to kind of end this episode is Trump is using all of his efforts in our military to shut down Cartel de Sol so that all of our elections are legitimate going forward. That's a good thing. Thoughts?
It's an excellent thing. You've said it all.
We've said it all.
Well, we'll touch on that more in the future, I'm sure.
We will. And I don't have a pat saying. I would love to have a pat saying at the end of each and every show. Just from my heart, I would say this has been an emotional time for 10 years. And there's been some heated moments where we were in shock and disbelief. And
especially me, there's been times where, especially when we were on the road traveling and even at home,
we traveled
in between, we were watching, our morning programs and everything like that, the news and different things where, especially we turn in on mainstream media periodically to see exactly what they're trying to brainwash people with. So, we're informed from both sides. We know what the truth is and we know what the propaganda is. And there have been times that literally after watching certain shows or that we pause and so we can discuss that I personally get so physically upset that I finally have to say, enough, done, stop.
Right. Because I'm made of like some other kind of thing. And Ron,
it gets to the point to where there is so
too much and we got to shut it down. Because Ron's got like this neurotic monster husband, me.
There's so much bullshit and lies out there that I can only take it up to a certain point because sometimes you feel useless. And that's why we're starting to do this podcast.
And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
There's so much bullshit out there. And we have found out in traveling this country that there are a lot of people that are informed, but they also feel that it's like back in the day when you had to hide that you were gay or you had to hide that you were this. Or you had
they don't know how to express it.
During the 2016 election, you had to hide that you were actually for Donald Trump, because your family would beat you down. Well, there's so much bullshit stuff out there, but we have found out, we were always told when we were going into California, oh, be careful who you talk to and what you say, because they're all
It's
really
red.
far,
It's red. Yeah.
they're really far left out there. And everybody except for one person, one time that we ran into, that was an extreme lefty. And it's like, but when you actually were one-on-one talking with people in restaurants or restaurant owners or hotel owners and everything that we were actually sitting down and having dinner with and talking to, that they actually were very far right and in support of Donald Trump. But once again, they had to be careful of who they let know that. And even recently
and don't wear Make America Great red hat anywhere.
In the state of Massachusetts, which is supposedly supposed to be blue, the people that not all, but a lot of the people that we talked to as conversation unfolded, we found out they were actually Trump supporters. But once again, they had to hide that fact.
Yeah.
Well, it's time for everybody who knows what's going on and who knows what is right from the right side, which is the right side of history,
right?
It's time for everybody to speak up and to come out of the closet.
Hey, that's a great way to end and talk about time. It has come time, and I am Snarky.
And I'm Such.
And we love you guys. And remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share this. Come on and comment on it. If you got something that you didn't hear today, you want us to discuss for the next show, please let us know. And with that, we're over and out.
Over and out.
With these words of admission, there'll be no submission. I've done the addition, and it's not adding up. You can keep all your conditions. We're not asking permission. It's our act of sedition, and we're not giving up or giving in.